Hey guys, welcome to Mara's Junk Drawer. I am Mara, and today I'm going to be doing my July reading wrap up, as you can see by the title. So we're going to get straight into it. So I'm going to be doing a nice little cozy setup. We're not in front of the bookshelf because this is my third time making this video. I don't even want to explain to you. I just feel like, for those of you who like make content, you know, it's like one of those content moments where it's just like everything seems to go wrong every time you create the specific, content piece. So I'm like, forget it. I'm about to just get in my bed, cozy up with a nice little Christmas blanket, because let's skip Halloween season and go straight into Christmas, okay? So yeah, I'm in my bed, okay? And we're gonna do this July wrap up in my bed because I need all the cozy vibes after the stress of trying to record this video. Okay, and so I'm going to go in no particular order as to what I read for the month of July. So first we're going to start with Lucky Me, a memoir of changing the odds by Rich Paul, and there's a foreword by LeBron James. So I think he did a phenomenal job with this memoir. Rich Paul is a sports agent. And that's all I'm gonna say, because I'm not really into sports, so I can't really like go into the logistics of his credentials. But he is a sports agent. He I don't know if he still does, but he dates Adele. Like, that's how I knew of him first, is him dating Adele, because Adele's one of the girls. Okay. So his memoir pretty much focuses on his childhood up until the point of him meeting LeBron James. And baby, I checked this book out on Libby, not the book, the audio book out on Libby, and I listened to it on audio. And I would recommend the audio book because I think he did a great job narrating his own story. And I just love when people narrate their own memoirs, because I just feel like it just makes it 10 times better. But yeah, he did a good job, and y'all gotta go check it out. He is from Cleveland, Ohio, and so if you're a Cleveland native, I think you will appreciate the nostalgia in his memoir, because it felt nostalgic to me, even though I'm not from Cleveland. I do live in Ohio, but like some of the landmarks that he spoke of, I think, you know, people who live in Cleveland will be able to appreciate the nostalgia in his memoir. Next, we have Lilith by Alexandria House. I love this one too. I think it's going to be 3 books in the series. I'm not sure, because it is called the Three Kings series. And I think it's going to follow 3 of the King sisters. And of course, this story follows Lilith, one of the stories. I said one of the stories, one of the sisters. And the MMC that she meets, his name is Ray. But before she meets Ray, she's in this relationship arrangement. Like, she's in the relationship with this man for a very long time. I think maybe 10 years, I'm not sure. She's pushing 40, and she just feels like her biological clock is ticking as far as like wanting to be married and, start a family of her own. And the guy that she's with, he is still married, and he's still married because his ex is supposedly disabled and she needs to stay on his insurance so that she could stay alive. Whoop-de-whoop. And supposedly the ex-wife is aware of Lilith, and it's almost like a threesome type arrangement. But baby, it was giving plot twist after plot twist after plot twist. Like, okay, I see you, a thriller romance. I would say this is like a dark romance, more so for the girlies who like dark romance in like a Christian Grey, like 50 Shades of Grey dark romance, not like Hunting of Adeline. I don't even think I would even dip my toes into that type of dark romance. No thank you. I'll stay like right here with like the kinkiness. Like, that's it. That's all. That's as far as I'm gonna go with the dark romance. Or like Butcher and Blackbird, I did like that. So yeah, so Lilith, I can't remember what her funky ex-man's name is, but yeah, when she meets Ray, like, Ray is very unhinged. When you first meet Ray in the book, you're like, whoa, what, especially if you go into the book blind, because Alexandria, she doesn't really have a synopsis for the book. Maybe she does now, but when I first did it, she just gave you like a little nice little blurb. And I would recommend going into this blind because it was a nice little treat. But I will say there was certain parts of the book that I felt like was rushed for some reason. Like, I don't know if I couldn't keep up with the pace of the book, as far as like I felt like she left me hanging on certain parts of the book, but for some reason it just felt like rushed. And it is a very quick read, so maybe that's why she was just trying to squeeze everything into the amount of pages. But I just felt like there were certain aspects of the story where I just needed it to be elaborated a little more, but I don't know. But I did enjoy it. Okay, next we have Nearly All the Men in Lagos Are Mad by Demilare Guku. I'm not sure if I said that right. But baby, this title should read Nearly All the Men in the World Are Mad, because baby, I'm sure so many of us women can relate to these stories in this book. So this book is a bunch of short stories, and all of the short stories are centered around Nigerian men doing some crazy things in relationships. Like, pretty much it's giving 52 part Risatisa, but in Nigerian form. Okay, and I'm trying to figure out if I like short stories or not. So far, short stories I read is this one, as well as The Neighbors and Other Stories by Diane Oliver, and these are completely different. But one thing I am noticing about short stories, if the author is a good writer, I have a hard time, like, I feel like it's just too much to process at once, because there's so many different stories with so many different contexts. And so far, like, both of these books, Nearly All the Men in Lagos Are Mad, and as well as The Neighbors and Other Stories, the content in these stories are heavy, like very heavy. And so I find myself having a hard time, not really a hard time, but at moments it feels challenging, like trying to, I mean, am I recording? Yeah, I have a hard time trying to like keep up, like feeling like I need to process before I move forward. So it's just like I just read like 10 books in one at like rapid speed, and that could be a lot for your brain, especially with the context of these stories. So anyways, back to Nearly All the Men in Lagos Are Mad. So yes, it's given 52 part Risatisa, but in Nigerian form. And baby, the way these Nigerian men was playing these women in these stories, dirty. It makes me not even want to look in the direction of a Nigerian man. And I just want to know, like, if a Nigerian man has read this before, like, what are your thoughts? Because she straight came for y'all. And I am excited to read her new book. It's called Big Bum Bums Don't Matter, or Big Bum Bum Matter, something like that. Okay, next we have Whoopi Goldberg, Bits and Pieces, My Mother, My Brother, and Me. Baby, 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 baby. I need this book on my shelf. I'm definitely going to go purchase this book. I checked this out on Libby as well as an audiobook. And when I say she ate this audiobook, she ate this audiobook up. I had to go tell my mom about it. I had to tell my grandma about it. I posted it on Instagram. Like, baby, when she is narrating her memoir, it literally sounds like she on the phone with you. Like, girl, let me tell you about this book that I wrote. Like, that's how she narrated it. It wasn't like she was reading from a script, because it was like she was going off script and was like laughing and adding her own little commentary. It sounded like she was laughing at pictures, so I'm not sure if there are pictures in the book, but baby, bro, she did a phenomenal job with this audiobook. I would say her narration with her audiobook is given top 3 of audiobooks, hands down, because phenomenal job. I don't know if I'm a little biased, because I do love Whoopi. Like, The Color Purple is my favorite movie, as well as my favorite book. Not my #1 favorite book, but it's my #1 favorite movie. And so I'm a Whoopi Goldberg stan. But baby, phenomenal. And she does focus a lot around grief, like mother grief as well, so that could be triggering, and also healing because she just shares her feelings toward grief centered around losing a mother, and as well as her brother, like losing the people who she felt was not so much her identity, but basically her identity, like the people who know me best, the people who love me, the people who was like my ride or dies, like they're gone now, and it's pretty much centered around that. And she did a phenomenal job. Like I would literally listen to the audiobook again just because it was that good. Next, we have Finding My Way to You by Brianna Michelle. So this story is book 2 of, I'm not sure what the series is called, but her first book of the series is Finding My Way Out of Darkness. If you have not read that one yet, go read it. I don't know why that book is still, like, that's a book that I still think about to this day. And she did a phenomenal job with that. And it was like, there is, can I say that? I don't know if I could say that word. Like, there's an aspect of the book that's present that I was not expecting when I read the book, of course, because I go into all my books blind. But baby, highlight after highlight after highlight after highlight. Like, she did a phenomenal job with that one. And for some reason, that one is so, like, close to my heart. And I was like, that one is still my favorite compared to this one, Finding My Way to You. So Finding My Way to You is Kendrix and Phoenix from that friend group, if you read Finding My Way to You. So it is a friend group of men and women, and so far we had Brian and Michaela's story in Finding My Way to You, and then this one is Kendrick and Phoenix. And Phoenix is a chef, and Kendrix is an FBI agent, and it's a second chance. And baby, she had suspense and thriller in here. I think Brianna would do a good job with like a thriller suspense with like no romance, because I think she did a really good job with that aspect of the book. And I feel like I still would enjoy a book like that from her without romance. But so this book, A Second Chance, and baby, the plot twist in this one as well. Ooh, it was giving like, what can I say it was giving? I'm not sure, but the crime and the suspense and the thriller was there for me. Like, she ate that aspect of the book up. But as far as like the romance aspect of the book, I felt like I wanted to see more of Phoenix's personality, more so like her personality, and as well as I wanted to feel more of her chefness, because she's a chef. But I felt like I wanted to see like more recipes, maybe a recipe being in the back of the book, but that probably just was not like where the direction of her book. But I would have loved to see more of like Phoenix's personality shine through, only because Kendrick, like, I felt like overshadowed Phoenix a lot. It felt more like Kendrick's story than it did Phoenix's story, which was still good. But baby, a man of God. One thing I do love about Brianna, she does include God-fearing characters. Baby, I absolutely love that, because we love a God-fearing man, right? A man that's gonna pray over us. Okay, so I would recommend this series. I'm not sure what the series is called, but I do. Her third book is dropping this fall. What is it called? I just posted it on my Instagram story. Okay, it's called Maybe I Need You, and that is coming this fall, but I'm not sure if that one is a part of the series. So yeah. Next we have Rare by Natalie Ashay. My girl, my girl, my girl. So Sucker is not a part of this series, but it kind of is. But like the cover don't match the books in the Rare, the Phil X novel series. If you go to Amazon and look up this book, then you'll see what I mean. But you'll see in this book, Rare, there are characters from Sucker that are in here, and when I seen them, baby, I was so happy to see them when they went to Paris. It's kind of a little spoiler, kind of. If you read Sucker, then it might be a spoiler with you for you, or you might be able to put two and two together and know who I'm talking about. But yeah, they met up with them in Paris. Okay, but anyways, back to the book. Rare by Natalie Ashe follows Azaria and John. Azaria is an Ethiopian Brazilian princess, okay? Her mother is Ethiopian, her father is from Brazil. And John, the MMC, is Italian, and he speaks Italian throughout the book. But she does, okay, and this is a military romance, so she does have like a dictionary at the beginning of the book, and so that you can reference like military talk, as well as translate when John is speaking in Italian. But anyway, so Azara, she is an ice skater as well, and at the height of her career she ends up with heart failure, and she is given a heart from John, the MMC's brother. And 5 years later, so fast forwards 5 years later, and John's brother who provided the heart, his body is dug up from his grave, baby, and they go on a journey to figure out what happened. As well as Azaria's father, her father does have like a high military rank, so, and he goes missing as well in Brazil. And so they're on this hunt to find out, like, how did she get this heart? Like, was it in good intention? Did something happen? Did, you know, so it was giving crime as well. Child, from Alexandria House, Brianna Michelle, and Natalie Shea, these three books was all giving like crime thriller, and I'm here for it, okay? But yeah, so I did love this one as well, and I can't wait to read the second one. So pretty much these characters all work in the same workplace. Well, John works with at the, what is that? I think it is called Field X, you know, like the corporation from Sucker. If you read the book Sucker, then you know what I mean. And so I think the next book is Agent Thomas, or I can't remember who the next book will involve, but I did love this one. So this one is kind of like, ooh, what would the vibe be? Strangers to lovers, forced proximity. Yeah, loved it. Okay, next we have A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. And so I know in my previous videos I was saying how much I absolutely love the 7-Year Slip, baby. She was in her bag with that book. Like, why did she eat that book up so freaking bad? Like, she set the standard so high for herself when it comes to her books, because A Novel Love Story did not live up to it. I have not read The Dead Romantics yet. I'm going to get to that one. But A Novel Love Story follows a girl who is a part of, I can't even remember her name because the book was just so slow for me. It just didn't hit the same way 7-Year Slip did. So she goes to okay, so she's a part of a book club, and she also has this series of books that she absolutely loves. Like, these are her favorite books that she has to read every year. And so this year, when it's time for her annual book club meetup, they go to a cabin and nobody's able to go. So she decides, you know what, I'm gonna just go myself, because why not? So she ends up on a road trip to go to the cabin by herself to read her books, you know, to have a little bookish getaway. And on her way there, her car breaks down and she ends up in this town, and the town just so happens to be the town that's a part of the town that is in her favorite book series. And so she knows all the characters, and then there's one character, one person in the town who is a character that she does not recognize in the book. And so the whole time she's trying to figure out, like, who is this character, baby. Ashley knows how to write a magical realism romance. I will give her that, and she does a beautiful job executing it. But for some reason, this one was just so slow for me. And like I said in one of my previous videos, or wherever I said it on social media, I feel like this book is for her A1 day ones, and I would not recommend this book if you are new to her, only because, or maybe I will, because if you love it, if you read 7-Year Slip, I feel like your standard is going to be so high. And you might not be you might be a little disappointed with this one, but I will say, like, she still did a good job with it. The magical realism was there. The plot twist of who the character is that she could not figure out, baby, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But for some reason it was just so freaking slow. Like the vibe, okay, so some of the vibe was there, but it wasn't there. I don't even know how to explain it. Maybe this was just not one that was for me, but I feel like she executed everything else. But yeah, so that is all the books that I read for the month of July, and I thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, I really hope that I'm able to upload this video due to the major issues that I experienced multiple times trying to record this video. But if you made it this far into the video, go ahead and be sure to subscribe, lock in with your girl, and like this video for the amount of challenges I had to face to even get this far. And let's pray that I'm able to upload this video onto YouTube for you guys. And be sure to leave me a comment below if you read any of the books that I mentioned, and let me know how you felt about them. Or if you just have a book recommendation, go ahead and leave me a comment as well of a book that you recommend for me, based off maybe the books that I read thus far. But once again, like I said, I thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next.